Alright, so part two. I think what I decided I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this internal diameter. I mean, that's really what makes a ring fit or not. And this ring right here, this ring fits perfectly. It's nice and snug. And I'm measuring 0.8175 inches. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. I have to switch over to inches because my cross slide is in inches. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with this boring bit. And I'm going to remove some material. The interesting thing about this is I actually have to put this little spacer underneath here so that I can get the boring bit into the hole so that it doesn't actually rub. And once I take away enough material, then I can go ahead and take that spacer out and drop it down, because when I actually move it up, it brings it off center. So then when I'm moving on my cross slide and I have my little, my tick marks on my cross slide, they're not accurate because it's hitting like a different part of the circle. It's not perfectly in the middle. So I actually have to remove some material, take this out, drop it down. And I've used this boring bit quite a bunch, and I actually have a new one I think I might switch out to. Yeah, we'll see how it's cutting. I'm also going to remove this just to be safe. Alright, so we're at about 0.4 and we're going to 0.8, so we need to take off 0.2. Alright. Okay, so we're at 0.51. Still got a ways to go. 0.60. And from now on, I'm gonna be measuring a lot more. I'm also gonna switch out to that new boring bit. All right, so I was able to switch out to a newer boring bit and finally cut away enough material to drop it down. So the point that it's cutting is actually in the center of the circle, which is going to give me an accurate readout. All right, before we start, I'm going to take a quick measurement. .63 going to 0.8175. Hopefully this cut sounds a little bit cleaner. Okay, I don't know if you could tell, but it sounded a whole lot better. Nice and smooth and quiet. Should have been 10 thousandths there. I want to actually start getting more accurate with how much of a cut I'm taking, since I'm getting closer and closer to my actual number. So from 0.67 to 0.69, which which if I took off 10 thou off one side, multiply that by 2, that's 20. So we're accurate. So I'll take off 30. Well, that might have been too big. At least it seemed like a bigger cut than I had intended. Which I guess 30 thou is a big cut, but let's measure. 0.756. Actually, we are right on. So we have 30 thou left to go. I'll do half that. 15. Alright, let's see what we got. .787, .786. So we got 15 to go. Do half that, which is 7. Let's do 4. I guess my theory with this is that even if it's not perfectly accurate, if I keep just halving the distance, I will never go over, even if it's a little bit off. Sort of like taking a limit in calculus. You never actually get quite there, but if you just keep having the distance, you get closer and closer and closer and just right up to it. See where we're at. I'm at 0.8. .8090. So I've got 4 thousandths. I'll go 2. .8105. So I've got 3. Let's go 1. .81. .813. So I got 2.25 thousandths to go. So again, we'll do 1. .8175. Just like that. Sneaks up on you. I'm just gonna do a pass without changing it at all, just to try to clean up that surface a little bit. Before I move on to another tool, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this same boring tool to just take the edge, just take this edge off, put a little chamfer on it. Yeah, that'll help. So I'm using this cutter right here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm not sure what angle it is. It doesn't really matter. The thing that matters to me is that it's symmetrical, so I can get the same angle on both sides. The problem is this is actually going to determine the width of my ring, because I can only get it so far in towards the chuck. And I really don't want to move it, because right now I'm dead true from the outside to the inside, and if I mess with this at all, it won't be. And I've pretty much just made the finishing cut on my internal diameter. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a mark and see how wide I can actually get this. I wanted it to be the same as this other ring right here, which is 0.23. 0.235 inches. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Let's measure from that point. 0.28. .281. Yeah, so we're gonna be just fine. But what I need to do is turn this outer diameter down so we get our desired thickness, which is about 57 thousandths. And what are we at now? We are at 0.112. So we need to remove 55 thousandths. And since I'm just measuring thickness, I don't need to divide that in half, because the thickness will come off of both sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut up to the little line I just made, and I'll touch off and go 25 thousandths. My cross slide is very loose right now, so I'm not able to get it accurate. Five, 10, 15, 20, 25. So this one I know is too thick, and this one's 0.107, so 107 thousandths. Right now we're at 0.75. Sorry, 0.075. Yeah, that looks pretty chunky. Let's go down a little bit more. Got 20. Let's take 10. .066. Honestly, a little bit thicker than this one's fine. This one's super thin. So I'm gonna call it good on my OD. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make that chamfer on the outside edge here. All right. Now, instead of using a parting tool, I'm actually going to use this. And that'll make my cut and my chamfer, and I will have to chuck it up one last time and do the internal chamfer on the back side, and that'll be my finishing cut. The rest of it will just be polishing up on the Dremel. But before I actually make that cut, I'm going to take a left-handed tool and remove some of this material up to the face. That way I have a nice flat surface to cut into. Trying to make sure it's as flat as possible. Alright, well, camera died. Camera died right before, actually it overheated. If you have a GoPro and if you have a GoPro, then you feel my pain. Okay, can't miss this. This is a part where something's gonna go flying. Can't miss this. And there it is. There is our ring. All right, go over to the workbench and start to clean it up. Okay, so just show you how it turned out. Everything, all the operations on the lathe, you know what we got to. So this is this side that was sticking outwards. I'm not sure if you can see it or how well you can see it, but I have a chamfer on the internal diameter and then also one on the outer diameter, and they sort of meet right in the middle. So when I made that last cut, I just cut the outer chamfer, not the inner one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Dremel and I'm going to I'm going to put some soft jaws on it and chuck this up in the lathe and actually cut that internal chamfer on the lathe. I'll do that. It'll be perfect. Voila. So actually, next thing I'm going to do is throw it in this parts washer. That way I can make sure I got all the little dust particles off of it. Let's set the temp and time. Check back on this in 30 minutes. I actually decided that I'm going to cut this video here. I'm going to make it 3 parts. Again, just so that I make sure that I don't mess anything up. I always make mistakes when I try to move too fast. We got a lot done. We got all of the lathe work done. And from now on, it's just going to be polishing. We might even do some anodizing. So I'm going to cut it here and catch you in part 3.